So, hello YouTube. We're back in the woodland after Storm Dennis. We actually couldn't get into this woodland for 2 days. It was so bad. I'm just coming looking and inspecting the damage now. It is, I mean, that's come down. That wasn't like that. The damage is quite substantial. The water in here, well, where I'm stood, probably was about 4 foot deep here, where I'm actually on this bank now. Easily 4 foot, maybe more. It's obviously gone down a massive amount, but there's just so much deadfall in here now. It's incredible. Just logs that have just been washed up by the river. Seems to have sprung the new life, the new growth into life though. I mean, all this here is all from the storm. All of that. We didn't get any videos of it because it was just so dangerous to come out here, really. I mean, all this is just even worse than it was. There's just trees come down everywhere. There's trees and ivy and everything's just been ripped up out the ground as if it was just nothing. All brand new stuff. It's just been it's mental to see what has happened, and I mean, my wood survived, which I was not expecting actually. I did not expect that, if I'm honest with you. There's no daffodils. I don't know how they've managed to grow through all of this. But I mean, the amount of wood is here now is remarkable. Just again, more trees. I mean, I'm not being funny, but that tree's that isn't going to last long. I wouldn't think. The fence has gone. That was a fence there, which you'll probably see in some of my other videos. In fact, the bank's gone. The bank has actually gone, has been washed away. You'll see in other videos there was actually a fence along there, and it's gone. Logs and trees and all sorts has just smashed through that. It's absolutely crazy. All this is just brand new all this is brand new logs that just weren't here. Storm Dennis definitely gave us an absolute battering. You can see all the I think it's garlic. It's now growing. It's got a little tinge in the air. Oh, the smell is really nice. So it's now the 19th of February. Sorry, no, the 18th of February. 2 days after Storm Dennis, or 3 days. We had it first Saturday and Sunday, and it was bad. We were flooded in where I live. We were flooded in. A lot of us spent most of the evening and early hours of the morning. Let's just do that. There we go. So a lot of us spent a lot of the early hours Saturday into Sunday watching the river levels and watching the lanes around where I live, and it wasn't fun to do. We got told to evacuate at 8 o'clock, but we didn't receive that evacuation notice until 10 o'clock, and by then it was too late. The mountain rescue and fire services were backlogged, so there was no possibility of us actually being evacuated at that point. So we had to try and stick it out as much as possible. It was a scary situation to be in. It wasn't fun. We were every hour checking the river levels, every hour checking the lanes and the banks and everything. So it wasn't the best of storms. It was, for those people that love storms, it was brilliant. But for someone who, for the first time in my life, was actually stuck in a situation where I was living in and living through this storm and unable to actually do anything about it, apart from watch the water levels rise, watch everything disappear around you. And said, to be in these woods now 2 days after is a surprise, to be honest with you. It's just the importance of storms. Again, it goes back to my video last week, that storms are not to be messed with, and situations are that this isn't the perfect woodland to camp in anyway if you're going to be in a storm, and I wouldn't have camped in this woodland. But it was massively surprising to me to come down here at, I think it was like maybe 3:30 in the afternoon on Saturday afternoon, and see this whole area. Basically couldn't get to it. It was underwater. It was under about 5 foot of water, 6 foot of water. And then to see the bridge where I did the video on last week as well was completely underwater. It just didn't exist. The bridge just didn't exist. It just wasn't there. Yeah, you can't mess with Mother Nature, and we shouldn't mess around with this kind of thing. I know people love camping in it and they love to spend time in the rain and things like that, but the same old saying goes, don't mess with nature, because nature will always win. And it's just absolutely phenomenal to see the damage caused by this storm. And it wasn't the wind as such, it was the rain. And it was the amount of rain that we got from kind of early Friday evening right the way through until Sunday, with maybe about 3 hours like where it stopped. And then 3 hours actually ended up saving our life, I think. Those 3 hours ended up saving the site, saving where we live. Yeah, it was fun and it was exhilarating, but at the same time it was scary, and it was we have kids where we live, like on the site and things like that, and it was really kind of hard to think that at some point we may have to evacuate these on our own. So I have contingency plans. I've got an inflatable kayak which I did blow up when everything was ready. I had all my prep gear ready to go, ready to throw into a bag and get going if needed be. And yeah, it was all just about being prepared. All my battery packs were charged in case the power went out. My phone was fully charged, so I didn't have to then waste battery packs. I had candles all ready to go. Luckily that didn't happen and the power stayed on. It did go off for about 15 minutes at one point. We kind of thought, that's it, the power's down. But people always say the same thing, that this is never going to happen. The power is never going to go off, the lights are never going to go out. It's just not true. It's not true. And we were prepared, I was prepared, and everyone was coming to me for questions, and everyone was asking me, what do we do, how do we go about this? And I just said, just be prepared. Let's just all stick together, all work together as a community, and then we'll get out of this if need be. And I was prepared, and I was willing to put my life on the line for everyone else and make sure that everyone else was safe, warm, and looked after. But it's just the same old thing, isn't it? Just, you've got to prepare for the worst. If you prepare for the worst and the worst doesn't happen, it's always better, as the saying goes, it's better to be prepared and nothing happen than something happen and be unprepared. There is kind of rumours going around that we're expecting another couple of storms, maybe Ellen and Francis, over the next couple of weeks maybe. What they'll bring, again, it's just one of those things. The ground in Devon, I mean, I don't know if Devon was the worst area hit. There was massive flooding in Devon in England. Massive flooding, really bad flooding that just just swallowed whole communities in the space of 12 hours. Whole communities just vanished underwater. Rivers just burst their banks all over the place. Homes, businesses, and people weren't expecting. It wasn't the intensity of the rain. It wasn't the rain was intense. It was just the duration. It was the amount that fell in that. It was just a constant deluge. It was a constant downpour of rain over 37, 38 hours, with maybe the odd break here and there that just kind of slowed it down and let things kind of run away. And I said, I'm glad that we had those maybe 3.5 hours where, shut up you, maybe had those 3.5 hours where it did stop and the rain did slow down, and it gave us a chance to rebuild the banks. And we drained a little bit of the bank, so there was a dribble coming into the site where we live, so that would drain away, but in a controlled way. So it didn't fill up, it didn't back up, and didn't then push the bank through like it could have done. It just drained away nicely, and that kind of helped. Calver's here. There she is, the star of the show. And she hasn't been out. She went out yesterday. We went up around the lanes and went for a run, didn't we? Hey, went for a run with Daisy, a little friend who weigh a ton. And she's loving it. She's now back out and enjoy this woodland, and she's enjoying all the new growth, aren't you? She's enjoying the new growth and eating all the new growth. She's got a thing for sticky weed. She loves eating sticky weed and just new growth in general. But it looks like the weather's going to be another miserable. Yeah, it looks like it's going to just be miserable again for the next few days. So yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on what is going on, really. I know that everything's still going a little bit late with the page and the YouTube channel. I'm trying to do as many videos as possible at the moment. Fingers crossed in the next 2 weeks, and I've been saying that for a while, things will start moving forward. But again, I'm not risking it while this weather's out. It's not just myself I've got to worry about, it's Calber and Shan and Xiao Xiao and everyone in general. It's not just as simple as packing a bag and going for a camp, and other people on YouTube who do camps on their own. She's not really used to camping. No, she's not really used to camping. She's done it maybe twice. She does love the woods, but again, it's just getting her out, and in this weather it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. The worry and the panic of, is she going to do something stupid? Is she going to end up in the river? Or if we take Xiao Xiao out, he's a lot smaller, so he's not going to be as strong a swimmer if she does knock him in the river or anything like that, or wherever we end up. And it's not worth having that worry at the moment. That's a bone. I'm not quite sure where she's got that from, but okay. That's a bone. Let me go and grab that a second. Oh. So Calber's brought me a present. Bone of some sort. Not quite sure what it is, or what it's a bone of. It's a bone of some sort. If anyone knows what bone it is, leave it in the comments below. I hope you had fun during the storm, wherever you went doing. If you went out camping and braved the elements, good for you. You're braver than I am. So I'll leave it there. Hopefully it's the next couple of weeks we'll try and get out and about and do something. We just need to update the kit overall. Pretty much new boots, waterproofs for Shan, just it's a whole new array of equipment, obviously stuff for Calva, and I want to get her a little carry pack over so she can carry her own like food, water, bowl and different things. And then we'll find somewhere to camp that's going to be relatively close but nice area to camp in as well. So I'll leave it there. If you got up to anything over the weekend, during Storm Dennis, wherever you are in the world, if you're watching this, share your links, share your YouTube channels, and hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell notification, and you'll get new videos from me whenever we post them. So I'll see you later on YouTube. Thank you very much. See you soon.